Well, guys, it looks like it might be the end of an era in San Antonio as Manu Ginobili has just announced his retirement from the San Antonio Spurs and the NBA. And the real questions we have to ask are, is Manu Ginobili a Hall of Famer? What did he bring to the NBA? And what will the San Antonio Spurs do without him now in the 2018-2019 season?
LeBron James all the way in.
And here comes Simmons the other way, 3-on-2. Simmons eludes the defender and lays it in with that. Certainly the length altered that shot. Out of the quick steps.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Bernie here, bringing you yet another video here in The Charge, giving you the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. And before we get started on to today's video talking about Manu Ginobili, go and hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel, and also go and check out our other videos we have here as well. We of course have our Fixer Upper series where we go over each and every team to get them better for the future, and we also have a video talking about Skylar Diggins and what she said about Harrison Barnes and LeBron James. I want to know your guys' opinion, so go and leave a comment in that video. Now, when we talk about Manu Ginobili, the first thing we have to do is go to his Twitter, as he did announce it there officially. He said this: "Today, with a wide range of feelings, I'm announcing my retirement from basketball. Immense gratitude to everyone, friends, family, teammates, coaches, staff, fans, involved in my life in the last 23 years. It's been a fabulous journey, way beyond my wildest dreams." And of course, we have to highlight some of the things that he accomplished in his NBA career and also his international career. He was a four-time NBA champion. He was the 57th overall pick in the 99 draft, but joined the Spurs in 2002. So that's the reason why he didn't get that fifth one, because they won the ring in 99. He was also a two-time All-Star, which is kind of crazy to think that he is a two-time All-Star. He really should have been more, but I think Chris Smoove, when I watched his video about this retirement, he kind of said it best. He said that there was a lot of competition in the West, and that's kind of the reason why he was kind of not voted so much as being a All-Star pick. But he was also an Olympic gold medalist, and we remember that Argentina team and how they defeated the U.S., which promptly led LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Carmelo Anthony to create the Redeem Team. He was also a EuroLeague champion and also a EuroLeague champion MVP. Now, the one question I asked you guys at the beginning of the video was, is Manu Ginobili a Hall of Fame player? The first thing we have to, of course, look at are his stats. The one thing that pops out in the stats is that he's not a 20-point-per-game scorer. When we think about Hall of Fame players, when we think about guys that are up there in echelons, we think, oh, they have to at least average 20 points per game. But he never did it once. But I don't think that really matters, because I think when we look at it and watch the highlights, watch the videos, the way we reacted back then, he brought a lot to the team. Yeah, he didn't average, the most he averaged was 19.5, which is close to 20, but it's not 20 yet. But the amount of stuff that he did for this San Antonio Spurs community and the way that he sacrificed a lot of open shots, he sacrificed his own stats, but he did it because he was the constant professional that he is. He always cared about the team. I think of Greg Popovich, Kawhi Leonard, now that he's now a Toronto Raptor, and other guys on the team like Tim Duncan and Tony Parker, they would tell you that he's the constant professional, a guy that you want on your team. If there was a sixth man, he was your guy. And that's the thing that also I forgot to mention in terms of his kind of achievements in his life, is that he was also a sixth man of the year as well in the NBA, which is kind of crazy to think, because really he should have been a starter. He never should have been on the bench. But that's how awesome he was as a player. He sacrificed his own pride, his own ego, to be the guy that said, you know what, I'll come off the bench, let the other guys start, so that way I can be the most effective scorer I can be and do my thing in the NBA. And the real question, like I said, is he a Hall of Famer? And the short answer, I think, is yes. He has to be a Hall of Famer. I know there's a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame that probably deserve it, but I think he deserves it mostly over some of those guys that are in there already. And I think he will get that. I know that his number probably will be retired for the San Antonio Spurs. It has to be. I think him, Parker, and Duncan, their numbers have to be retired, because they brought something to the NBA that kind of, when we think about it, it annoyed us at the time. But when we look back at it in a different perspective, that team was really good. And the way that they moved the ball, the way that they sacrificed, all of them sacrificed. But I think Manu Ginobili sacrificed a little bit more, because I think he could have been an all-star player. He could have been, a multiple time. We're talking like 5 to 7 all-stars. If he was on a different team, he would have been at least the number 2 option if he was on a different team. And he would have taken more money, of course. But he decided to stay with San Antonio throughout his whole career, something you don't really see. I think we're getting close with Steph Curry. We're still waiting on him a little bit. But like I said, Manu Ginobili is a guy that said, you know what? I'm going to stay with San Antonio. I'm going to sacrifice. And that sacrifice paid off by winning 4 rings, especially 2 of them going against LeBron. I mean, he won 2 rings against LeBron. That's something that, only the Golden State Warriors can say. I mean, Kevin Durant can say that now. But back then, it was only Manu Ginobili that could say that, and the San Antonio Spurs. So, like I said, the short answer is he's a Hall of Famer. I think that's obvious here on out. But the next thing I have to ask you guys is, what did he bring to the game and popularized? I think the easy answer, of course, is he brought the Manu step. I know that the Euro step isn't a new move, but he popularized it in the NBA. Not a lot of players were doing it back then, but the way that he did it with such grace on the court was something that I think a lot of players took into their game when we talk about guys, moving on out in their career. I mean, we got guys like Giannis who are doing Euro steps that are absolutely ridiculous with the way that his size and length is. And there's so many things else that he brought to the team. And I think, like I said, his constant professionalism in terms of not taking so many shots, not overstepping his boundaries with the team. I think he did all of that so well. And I think the San Antonio Spurs are going to miss that, especially going into next year where they have a completely new roster. And I think this is officially the end of the Spurs era. And I think for Greg Popovich, he's the last remaining guy from that era. The real question is, does he retire and just stay the USA Basketball, or does he kind of battle on and take this San Antonio Spurs roster right now and see what he can do with it? I think he probably has a couple more years left, maybe 1 or 2, and then I think he's done, and maybe he just does USA Basketball. I think that's what he really should do, because all the players that you had in the past are gone now. I mean, you still have Patty Mills who, won you guys a championship, but at the same time, this is a completely new roster. When you got guys like LaMarcus Aldridge, Marco Bellinelli, Davis Bertans, Dante Cunningham, DeMar DeRozan now, Brian Forbes, Paul Gasol, Rudy Gay, Deron Hillard, Chizzy Metu, Patty Mills, DeJounte Murray, Jakob Poeltl, Lonnie Walker, and Derek White. I think it's about time that you kind of let the reins go to someone else. I think that's the way you do it, because when we look at it, none of his guys are there anymore, and I think the San Antonio Spurs would be better off if they decide, to build young again. You can build around DeMar DeRozan and Lonnie Walker and Jakob Poeltl. Even though, he's a decent center, I won't say he's a great center. He did go to my alum, University of Utah. But I think when we look at this, we're going to be looking back at it as what an era that San Antonio Spurs was. Because when we think about it, it was only like the Lakers and the Spurs that were winning championships throughout this whole time, with the Celtics here and there. But when we talk about the West, it was dominant by Spurs and Lakers. And when we talk about the San Antonio Spurs, they're not really a big market team. So they showed you why drafting well and having a team built, and how Greg Popovich and his staff did a very excellent job of getting guys to really fill in the roles, especially Manu and Tony Parker, who they got in the later rounds. I mean, they showed you how to build a team. They showed you why it's the best if you're a small market to not overpay for some guys, but to just build through the draft and build your team properly. I mean, we're seeing that with the Golden State Warriors before the Currys, before the Durants, before the Thompsons. You had a small market team, and they showed you that building through the draft, getting those players. You went from guys like Monte Ellis and Baron Davis to the super team in Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Kevin Durant. So I think San Antonio Spurs kind of led the way in that. And I want to know your guys' opinion, as this video is getting a little bit too long about a retirement. But I want to ask you guys this. What do you guys think Manu Ginobili brought to the game? 2, is Manu Ginobili a Hall of Famer? Yes or no? I want it in the comments down below. And also, what is your prediction for the 2018-2019 Spurs? Are they going to go to the playoffs, or are they going to miss out by a couple games? I want to know your guys' opinion. But anyway, guys, this has been your boy Bernie here on The Charge, giving you the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like button. And also don't forget to check out our other videos if you are new to the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.